The NFL. We started off talking about the team in Washington and how it looks like that name will finally be changed. And in the NFL, Rob, they have, it looks like the reports are that the NFL and the NCAA, when it comes to football games, that they are going to, or they're considering asking fans to sign waivers to attend games. So if you want to attend the game as a fan, you'll have to sign a waiver saying, if I get COVID-19, I will not sue the NFL or the NCAA or any of these schools or whatever. What are your thoughts on that, Rob?
I am, if the NFL and college football have to ask fans to sign a waiver, there shouldn't be any fans at the game. The whole idea and notion that they want your money, Chris, they want you to come buy tickets, sit in the stands, and potentially get sick, which could cost you your health, your life, somebody in your family's life, and maybe your job because you become sick. How in the world could you in your right mind sign away your chance at recouping something if, God forbid, something happens? For real. This ain't about a foul ball going in the stands, Chris. When you buy a ticket, it tells you.
Right.
Pay attention, right? The chance of you getting hit by a foul ball, it happens. That's why they put the netting up now, Chris, right? A young girl got hit, seriously hurt at a game, and now there's netting all over in the lower level. So I get that, but you had that on the back of your ticket, and I think you were willing to take a chance to go to a ball game even though you could get hit. COVID-19 is totally different. If you have to go to that extreme, no fans. No fans are going to be at NBA games. No fans are going to be at baseball games. Why does the NFL and college football have to have fans? You know why, Chris? Because they're greedy as hell. It's always a money grab. That's the only reason. They still want to sell 50% of the tickets rather than none. We're in a pandemic. For God's sake, let it go. It's one thing that the players are even willing to go out there and risk their lives to go play the game. Now you're going to put the fans in jeopardy too? How much money is enough? I can't take it anymore. Enough already with the money grab.
Look, we know it is a money grab. I mean, heck, let's keep it real, Rob. That's the only reason they're playing.
It is,
That's the only
I
reason
know.
they're playing any of these
but that
sports.
TV money, though, that's the TV money.
Right.
But the NFL doesn't even want, Chris, they want the TV money and they want fans' money.
Well, what I'll say is that I agree it's a money grab. I agree that when you think about it, if you've got to have fans sign a waiver, if it's that dangerous, man, should you be playing? I get all that. But I also get business. And I don't blame the NFL or the NCAA for this as much as I would blame fans that are willing to do this.
Sometimes you have to stop people, Chris.
But look, you're talking about, hold on, you're talking about adults. And I think heck, we got college kids down in Alabama throwing COVID-19 parties trying to get it. We had states that, stopped the shutdown way early, and that's why we have the surges we have right now. We got people flat out ignoring this. We have half the country thinks it's a hoax anyway. So if the NFL did a poll and asked how many of their fans want to go to the game, or would you rather not have fans in the stands, or do you want to go to the game if you sign the waiver? I bet a lot of their fans, heck, maybe a majority, I don't know, but maybe a majority would say we'll sign the waiver. I wouldn't. I don't think you would, and I agree with your logic, but I got to put this one on the fans because, look, I've played in a lot of rec basketball leagues and other sports, and I sign a waiver that if I get injured, I won't blame you. And so I see this as similar. You don't have to go to the game. I'll be quite content to sit in my living room and watch the games on television. For those fans who aren't, God bless you, and I pray you don't get sick. But I put that on them.
See, the difference between you playing in a rec game, I can't monitor whether you're in shape or you can play, and you go out there and get hurt. The difference is this is a
but
pandemic.
Even if I'm in shape, I could get hurt.
But this is a pandemic with no vaccine. We already know that's why the governors are closed. They just closed the restaurants on the inside. No more dining inside. They've shut it back down, and that's why the governor has to be able to step in to stop people from their own. Because you know what? If the governor doesn't say anything, people would have still been going to restaurants. People still would have been going to get haircuts. People would have been doing all those things, Chris. And that's why sometimes you have to be the voice of reason. And the only reason I'm saying this is because at least baseball, and we've had golf tournaments, we've had auto racing, Chris, with no fans. All the other sports have acknowledged that this is
auto races has some of them, right?
Well, at the beginning, they had none. I don't know if they've changed it when it opened up.
A few thousand.
But my point is that's why it's up to the league to stop the fans. Don't put the fans in harm's way because you want their ticket money.
They're putting the players in harm's way.
I get it.
And I get it.
But the difference is the players are going and getting paid to go.
In the NFL. Not in college. Not in college. Not in college. And that's the thing. You're right about the NFL. They're getting paid to go out there and risk it.
The fans aren't getting paid. They're paying to go get sick.
In college, they are not getting paid. And I don't disagree with you. I'm expecting the leagues. We know basketball and baseball, but I'm not expecting fans. And I do think the NFL should just get that through their thick skull that we're not going to have fans. Okay? But if they put it out there and they're allowed to do it and fans want to go, that's on the fans. Now, I don't know what kind of capacity they're looking at. Are they thinking if the stadium holds 60,000, are they thinking we can put what? I don't know, 20,000, 10,000 in there? I think that could be something. I think the number would be really low, like 6,000 or something, and you really spread it out. Then you would think it might be a much safer. So some of it may depend on how many fans they're trying to have. Rob G said Las Vegas wants 50%. That sounds high to me, right? Because they're not going to be that spread out.
They got a brand new building. They got a brand new building that they're opening. We know there was a brand new building built here in Los Angeles, home for the Chargers and the Rams. Right. So they got a brand new spanking building that $1 billion that's supposed to open up. So another one.
Yeah. I get it. I think ultimately the league should be able to say we're not going to have fans. Or like I said, it's going to be a really low number where they're really spread out. But if they put it out there, look, I'm looking at the fans. Your point is well taken because some fans will think, hey, if they're saying we can go, then maybe it's okay. But maybe that's the waiver should wake you up. Right?
No, that's what I'm saying,
I gotta
Chris.
sign
That
this
should,
waiver,
right?
man. Should wake me up to say, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this is dangerous, But
they're telling you
right.
that it's dangerous. And Chris, if they sell tickets to the game and you get something, they're going to be held liable. That's
right.
the only reason why they're asking you, because
right.
you're inviting people into a place that you could get COVID-19. That's exactly. Their lawyers are like, dude, you sell tickets, dude, and people
right.
get sick, they're going to come for you. They're going to come for you. And there'll be judges sitting there, Chris, who will give you lost wages and medical bills, and before you know it, you're in trouble.
You know what they're playing on, Rob? They're playing on, I'm going to try to say this nicely. They're playing on the ignorance, I guess.
Yes.
Of some of the fans. That's what they're playing on. They are. I assume they know how serious this thing is, but they're saying there's a segment of the population, a lot of them NFL fans, who think this is a hoax, who thinks this is political, and they will still want to come to NFL games. So heck, it's why instead of playing in front of an empty stadium and losing all that money, maybe we can get half of them to show. So it's really bad all around. The NFL shouldn't put that out there, give you the option, and the fans should be smart enough to say, you know what, if I have to sign a waiver, I'm not going. I'm not going. Football is a great TV sport. Why? Here's the thing, too, though, Rob. A lot of people that do go to games, season ticket holders and the like, they might find out they like watching it on TV. You know what I mean? Because then you can watch all the games. You can keep up with your fantasy stuff. And maybe that the NFL's a bit afraid of that as well.
They've already seen it, Chris. Last year, I think when I looked it up on the NFL attendance, it was the worst since 2004 or something, had dropped. People rather stay home. That is a big issue with the NFL. You remember the old blackout rule? You had to sell 85% of your stadium or the game wasn't on.
Yeah.
And you know why they dropped it? Because there would have been so many games not on around the country because people aren't buying tickets.
Well, it's funny because part of what has made football king in America is the fantasy football leagues, right? Like that has made it skyrocket. And then, but that is also what is keeping fans away from the games because they want to watch it at home, and you can watch all the games at once. You can keep track of your players on the various teams. You're getting the stats. You're getting red zone and all that stuff. So it's interesting. Quite a quandary.
And I looked at it real quick. NFL average attendance drops to the lowest point since 2004. That was last year. That's 15 years. So
now,
that is an issue.
Yeah, I mean they're still fine with that, but
no, I'm just saying. But it tells you about what you're talking about of them being afraid of the fans not coming.
Right. All right, your turn to weigh in. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. What are your thoughts on the NFL forcing fans to sign waivers to sit in the stands? And if it were you, would you be comfortable doing that? Do you want to go to an NFL game that much where you would sign a waiver? It's your turn to weigh in as we continue the conversation with you next. It's Chris and Rob, the Odd Couple.
All right, Eddie in Richmond, Virginia, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. How you doing?
Hey,
what you got, Eddie?
Not too bad. Good listening to y'all.
Thank you.
I've got just two quick things. Yeah, I would sign the waiver and go. I just take precautions, wearing a mask and sanitize real good.
So you want them to you're the fan they're looking at. So you want the NFL to have
sell tickets.
Sell tickets.
Well, I think if they do it with a limited number,
right. What's your thought? Like half full, a quarter
Probably,
full?
I think you do half full, leave every other seat empty. Something like that would be, unless you're a family.
That seems a little close to me because you're going to have people right behind you as well.
Right.
I think
Well, you could alternate and have them sitting, off and on. But, I'd go. I mean, I try to get to a Redskins game when I can. I'm a Steelers fan myself, even though I live in Richmond, but I still go and watch it. My wife's a Redskins fan.
I was going to ask you about that, Eddie, being that you're in Richmond. The potential of changing the team name, do you think your wife would be upset about that, or would she go along with it?
No, she's not. I'm 25% Native American myself. To me, I can understand where people are offended by it. But in regard to that name, I've done some studying on this. If Native American warriors, the warriors themselves, would paint themselves red, and the reason they did when they were in a fight, if they got stabbed, shot, whatever, the red paint would help keep them from seeing their blood.
Know. Right.
That is something. It's kind of the same, similar that the British soldiers wore red coats. But the Native Americans were doing it well before that, and I've checked into that because I'm part Cherokee.
Okay.
And
so for you,
I have found that out.
It doesn't bother you. The nickname.
Well, like I said, the name. I'm so used to it, I guess. No, it does not. And I've talked to some other friends I went to school with some Mattaponi Indians and some Pamunkey Indians when I was younger, and they're not really offended by it. They said that, as long as it's used like the Seminoles, the Florida State Seminoles use their name, if it's used the right way, and they said that logo is a very distinguished-looking Indian logo that the Redskins have compared to what the Chief Wahoo was for the Cleveland Indians.
Well,
that was a cheesy, cartoony-looking thing.
Yeah,
look,
thanks for the call, Eddie.
I'll say
it.
this, right? I'll leave it up to the Native Americans. I guess they're leaders. You're going to have differences among the Native Americans.
Everybody's not going to be.
I got to leave it up to their leaders, right?
People are not going to be in lockstep because one or two people say that they're cool with it or whatever the number is. Chris, you saw they put out a statement.
Right,
This isn't other people saying this. This has
Yep.
been going on forever. All right, Brian in Fresno. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, fellas? Mr. Broussard, Mr. Parker, how you doing?
Doing
Great,
good.
man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Ready for the weekend. It's my Friday, so
Very
almost
nice.
there.
All right. So how you feel about these games, the waivers?
The first thing I want to say, I got two names quick for the Washington team. I don't want to say it, but two names quick. The old Replacements football movie, they were the Sentinels. You can use that.
Sentinels, okay. Washington Sentinels.
Or the Senators, like the old baseball team. You already got history there.
They could already do that. That's easy.
Right.
Washington Senators. No doubt.
All right.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the fee waiver. I would definitely not. NFL, I love the NFL. My two biggest sports that I love baseball first, and then MMA second for me. And I think
baseball, my man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm the baseball man. Chris, don't be talking crap, man. Not today.
That's right.
We don't
Not
need
today.
that.
I just keep it real. That's all. But go ahead.
I think NFL needs to take some notes, man. Stop being greedy. You're getting your TV money. You're getting your endorsement money. You make money off all these NFL products. You do not need the fans. Don't put it on people. People are already taking enough risks out there today. I'm a diehard Dodger fan. I love Dodger Stadium. I love sitting in right field, all you can eat. But, hey, I'm not going to risk my health just to see a Dodger game. I can go get some Dodger dogs at Smart and Final and watch the game on TV with a nice cold beer. NFL fans can do the same.
There you go.
All right. That's a great call, my man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You just said it because he big up the baseball.
Oh, yeah, you know that. Next time. Brian, you my man in Fresno. All right, Mark in Sacramento, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Chris, I had to call back. What's up, guys?
What's
Chris,
up,
you're
man?
absolutely right, because I'm an older guy, but this is my 24th year playing fantasy football.
Wow.
You are absolutely, the NFL realized it about 10 years ago, that there's the millions of dollars, and now you see every channel of NFL on Sunday start with what? A fantasy football show. You're right there, Chris, because I've done it 24 years. You're absolutely
and
right.
here's the thing, Mark, and keep Mark on. They can't complain though, because fans want to stay at home and watch, because that's what has made the sport what it is, right? Rob, when we were growing, and you too, Mark, when we were all growing up, football was great, but it wasn't nearly this popular because there wasn't any fantasy or anything like that.
But don't forget, football wasn't on TV all the time as a kid. If the games weren't sold out, there were games that you didn't see.
But you could watch some other. That's
why Monday Night Football was so big. No,
there
but
were
I'm
always
saying,
games on Sundays, even if it wasn't your local team. There were games on though.
But not every team. If they didn't sell out.
No, you couldn't see
there
every
were blackouts.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Real quick, guys. I've lived long enough to be before fantasy football, before it even started, and watch football like that. And now I've come into the new age, so I've seen them both. And I can tell you right now, I'd rather stay home and watch it on my 65-incher in my recliner. Like you say, Chris, I can see my fantasy football stats in the corner, not miss the game.
Right.
In my house, it's a different game.
Mark, I'm going to tell you this.
Great football.
Mark, I'm going to tell you.
Great TV sport.
Television does not give you the same feel. And I agree, you have a better view and everything, but there's nothing like being at a big game with the atmosphere. That's what doesn't come through those speakers, is an atmosphere. And I've covered a lot of big games. I've sat in the stands and a lot of great games that I'll never forget. And that's the one thing that you can't get from television. Let's get a Marty in Kentucky.
True.
You know what I mean, Chris? Am I right?
If you want to, no question.
I'm just saying.
No
I'm saying the ambiance. You've covered big NBA games. You've been in the crowd. It is something
there's nothing compared. I've been to regular season NFL games, and it's still sitting in the crowd. It's great.
Yeah,
it is great. But it is, if I want to watch the whole league, though, you know this.
No,
Rob,
right.
That's
you can't
the
do
advantage.
it from.
But
you
you're
can't
right.
do it from a live game, right?
Yeah.
Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty?
Fellas, how you doing? It's Theme Song Thursday.
What's up, man?
That theme song, man, I wasn't feeling the Eye of the Tiger, man. I get tired. It gives me nightmares.
The song, The Eye of the Tiger?
Yeah, Paul Brown Stadium, they play it, and the thing, they treat me like like, I mean, I've never been treated so horrible in my life. Of course, I'm wearing black and gold, but
yeah,
well, that's the
you
problem.
knew that was coming. You knew it was coming.
yeah. Now, I don't go to many. I only go to a Steelers game, and if Steelers had a big game and it playoff implications, I'd go. I sign waivers all the time. I'm an outdoorsman, and I go out of state and go to different places to hunt, and I always have to sign a waiver. Okay, if so and so shoots me, you're not responsible. So
Right.
that wouldn't faze me. I think they're giving the fans the choice, and just letting them understand that there's a risk here, and you got to show that there's a risk. Now, I personally think it's not going to affect the NFL much because I feel the same way you do. Fantasy football exploded the NFL. I'm a diehard fantasy player. I study all week long. I study the weather, the routines, the patterns, everything, just all the numbers. I'm crazy about it because I'm really competitive. But I don't think if fans aren't there, man, NFL's still going to run strong.
Yeah, that's so. Rob, thank you, Marty. We had a pretty much an even breakdown, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Half the callers would go, half wouldn't. So
if there's a vaccine, it would be totally
at.
different. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I don't get, like to put yourself at risk. That's all, because it's not just you. It's your family,
Right.
it's your grandparents, your parents, Chris,
Kids,
depending
your kids,
on your
if you
age.
got small kids. Yeah.
That's what I would be afraid of, going to a football game and then coming back and giving it to somebody else.
What's happening, y'all? It's Chris Broussard.
I'm Rob Parker.
And we are
The Odd Couple. Check us out as often as you can on YouTube.
And always remember, I'm Oscar, and he's Felix.
Oh, man, are you serious?